Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Feeding the Curious Mind. My name's John Pullen and I'm an author of fiction and non-fiction books. In a previous episode we spoke about the origin of the universe. Well, carrying on that theme, let's have a look at the origin of our solar system. Now, as the universe evolved, it formed large gaseous areas which were called nebulae. One of these began forming about 4.6 billion years ago in an area where our solar system is situated. The nebulae, the gaseous nebula, is full of particles, and very slowly over time some of these particles started to clump together. As they grew in size, obviously gravity within that clump increased, which meant that more particles and clumps were attracted, and over a great period of time larger spheres of this matter were produced. The first of these, and the largest by far, turned into our sun. Now, how the process of going from a large clump to the sun we know is going to be in a future episode, along with each of the planets and other parts of the solar system. We will have in the future a discussion and an episode about all of them. However, getting back to the solar system, after the sun sphere was formed, smaller spheres were also formed, and these of course were the planets that we know today. The first four, Mercury, Venus, the Earth and Mars, are solid, rocky, metallic planets, whereas the other larger planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, are called gaseous giants. Now, they would have a rocky core initially, but then they would begin to attract some of the gas of the nebula, thus forming, under their own gravity, these gas giants. We can only see the outside of them, although other techniques exist with satellites to see through, but eventually we may try and send a satellite into some of these gaseous giants, but that will be in the future. So we have the sun, we have the first four rocky planets ending in Mars, then between Mars and the first gaseous giant, Jupiter, we have the asteroid belt, which some people believe was a planet that broke up. Others say that it was just pieces that weren't able to form a large group. But if we go further out, past Neptune, we have two areas. We have the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. Both of these areas, which stretch an amazingly large distance out before we reach interstellar space, they consist of things like minor planets. Now, you may have noticed, of course, that I've missed out a planet, as was, called Pluto. Well, in 2006, Pluto, which is very small compared with the others, was demoted from planet status down to minor planet or dwarf planet, and many of these do exist within the Kuiper belt and Oort cloud. Also, we have lots and lots of comet-like objects in both of these areas. Now, some objects break free. They might collide and are knocked out of their orbits, and they start their own particular unique journeys through the solar system. These can be the wandering asteroids. They can be comets that we see, like Halley's Comet. And yes, of course, there is always the chance, as we know, of an asteroid hitting the Earth, such as the famous one of about 65 million years ago, that helped to kill off all the dinosaurs, except birds, of course. So there we have the solar system as such. So in future ones, we will look at the sun and each of the planets in turn.